drowning in the way of the dreams we win. Blended Mark and Matt, no one knows the pain. Share the words so we don't fade away in vain. Souls were trapped in this ride. Hard takes, sad jokes with the darkness inside. Voiced pride, it's all we got.
Did he just say 3 broken souls? Is that what he says? That's us.
There's a lot of darkness inside.
Guys, this is the Shirts and Skins podcast. We're back. Get excited.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
For those that may have forgotten, I'm Matt Lamb.
Hey.
That's Brandon Miner. That's
Welcome.
Mark Moss.
Good to meet you.
Different camera angle. Check
Yeah.
that out.
A lot of new
getting,
going on.
Mark's getting creative.
Right there.
There we are. Guys, we're here. It's June. Some may call it a dead period with football, but we've got some stuff to talk about.
We've been dead.
We've been gone, but we're back. It's going to be a great show. Stick around.
All right.
We've got conference talk, Pac-12.
Oh, we got
Not that conference talk.
We got football conference talk.
Football.
All right.
Conference talk. Brandon, what do you want to talk about,
Yeah,
man?
there's a lot to talk about. What have we been doing since we've been gone? I can tell you something.
Hey, yeah. Since you've been gone.
Matt helped me build a fence.
What? Dude, how is it, by the way? Is it done?
It's done. It's done.
You didn't send me any pictures.
I need to
What
send you a
fence?
picture.
Where?
Chicken fence.
It's like a chicken, keep them in type
Yeah,
of
it's a
fence.
chicken fence that Matt and I
You have
got.
chickens too?
No.
I thought you just let your chickens roam the hood.
Well, I would, but my neighbor started calling me and be like,
Squawking.
I don't like all the chicken shit
that makes
over
sense.
his stuff, dude.
That makes sense.
Were you
So,
turning
wrong.
chicken salad
That would
into
happen.
chicken
Yeah, pretty much.
DK.
DK, man?
Oh, is that what your high school coach would say?
Yeah.
Mark's gone every weekend, like usual. No big deal. Shout out to Mark's little brother, the Better Moss, the optometrist. He helped my son with a hurt eye.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Was it actually hurt though? Or was this a minor
swollen.
injury? Okay.
Yeah, it was swollen. So he
You
helped us
tried
out.
to take him to
Craig.
Mark, and Mark was like, I can massage it out.
Mark would massage it out and bill me
It doesn't
a
work
ton.
quite as good. It doesn't. And
Yeah,
I
the
would bill
eyes.
way more than the doctor for
no,
that.
Craig. So check him out at Eagle Vision. Eagle
Vision 1.
Eagle Vision 1
Craig
in
Moss,
Eagle.
the real Dr.
Right by
Moss.
Zamzo's in that area.
Yeah.
By Walgreens.
So he was very helpful. So there's a lot happening while we were gone on the personal side. So Mark's gone every weekend. He's
I'm
a
not
big
gone
traveler.
every
He's
weekend.
like really
Brandon
busy.
built the fence.
I built the
I helped
fence.
a little
There's a lot
bit.
going on, dude. So
One other thing, I got to bring this up.
Yeah.
I know you don't want me to bring it up.
yeah, bring it up. Get it out.
I've been
Stretch that
dying to.
muscle.
Matt's been waiting for 3.5
Scratch that
weeks.
itch.
Guys, anytime I
that
can
itch.
make somebody look bad, it makes me
You
look
will.
better.
It's
I raise myself up by putting other people down.
For you to win, other people have to lose.
It's a zero-sum game.
Yeah, what happened?
We
Matt?
went to the BNN event,
Yeah, it was a
the
good time.
happy hour down in Garden
Yeah, it was a
City.
good time.
Fun time. BJ did a great job for
you remember
the
the-
Idaho Youth Coalition.
Do you remember a few of the listeners that we talked to? Their names?
Yeah.
Was it Surf City Bill or
yeah.
something?
Yeah,
Surf
Surf
City
City
Bill
Bill
was
was there.
Yeah,
Right
Surf
on.
City Bill. Good guy.
Yeah, good guy.
Couple other
Nathan
guys.
Carroll was there.
Yeah.
Talked to some cool people. I mean, people are like, hey,
Good times.
they saw us last year. So awesome to say hi to him. We also sat down with none other than Abe Jackson.
Yeah, great guy.
Honest Abe Jackson.
Honest Abe, a lot of you may know him as a broadcaster.
Yes.
Some of you may know that he also played basketball at Boise State.
Yeah. Good to know that.
Interesting.
Yeah, good
So
to know
Tidbit
that.
of
Brandon and I,
There's a connection there.
So Abe was sitting just, kind of on his phone
Yeah.
at the picnic table eating some pizza. And me and Brandon were like, well, you were like, hey, should we go talk to him? I'm like, yeah, let's go talk to him. So you lead the way, go talk to him. Start talking basketball.
Classic networking
Yeah, because maybe we'll get him on the pod.
opportunity.
Start talking about basketball.
Yeah.
Start talking about Clint Hordeman, how he played for Boise State. And then Brandon proceeds to ask Abe Jackson
Yeah.
if he played college basketball.
Yeah, get it out. Yeah.
You did not.
Well,
Matt texted that, and I was like, no, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a lie. How did?
Yeah, don't get it
What
out.
happened?
What else do you want to talk about?
Did you not? Did you just forget for a split second, or did you just like not know?
I don't know why I didn't put it together, but we're sitting there talking about like, because he went to BK, he graduated in the 90s.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have older brothers that graduated local high school at that time. And I remember going to a few basketball games, and there were some good players at the time. And Clinton Hordeman was one of them, and he's just kind of been a guy that's been around. And so for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, there were some good players that came out of the Valley that played Division I basketball. I was like, did you play college basketball? And he's like, yeah, idiot. Yeah,
Well, how did he
idiot.
take
Of course,
it? How did he
was
take
super
it?
gracious.
No, he was good.
This
He was good.
jackass wouldn't stop laughing the whole time.
My
He
head
was laughing the
down.
whole
I was like,
time.
no.
He was laughing the whole time. And he's like, oh, yeah, I played at the same time with Clint, and I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. But here's the real question though.
Yeah.
Did you?
Where were
just
you?
No, I was gone.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But did you just like for that split second forget that he played, or you literally
Yeah,
didn't know?
I don't know. No, I knew it. So I
Okay.
remember you listen to the radio broadcast, and he'll say in my days, like when I played this and that.
Yeah.
I don't know why it just came out that way. It just happened.
So
But it was
I
memorable.
just stepped in it.
And he still sat and talked with us, so it wasn't like, hey,
And he's
see you
incredibly
losers later.
gracious.
You didn't mention the pod in that same
Yeah.
city.
Oh, we did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
He probably forgot by the end of the conversation that we had a
Yeah.
podcast, though.
He got out of there pretty quick.
Yeah. Dude, he's on like the fraud detection team at, what is it, Washington Federal or
Washington
Mutual?
Federal, yeah,
What do you
something
mean
like
the
that.
fraud detect? What does that mean?
Well,
Like
when
that's his
you-
job.
When you
That's his
try
job.
to,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, when you try to like launder money,
Yeah, Mark, when you
I
open
mean,
up that
I've
car
never
wash,
had to deal with them, but I'm pretty good.
yeah. Well, he's
it's Mark Sneaky
tip
over
to
there.
Abe over here. Yeah, well, maybe he can come on sometime. No, he was good. Abe's a nice guy.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Also,
Just
at
one
the-
example of many times that I've
Nah.
stepped in it. So,
Credibility.
It's bound to happen.
It
right?
happens many times.
Also at the event was Jeramiah Dickey.
Yeah.
We didn't talk to him.
No.
Come on.
Well,
Hard
he
for me
was,
to criticize when I wasn't there, but
we were leaving. We'd been there. It was good. We heard Danielson and Leon Rice were up there. Brandon
so
left
does
first.
Leon Rice? He coach basketball, right?
He coaches sports.
Did we ask him? Was there any questions about? Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
nailing it.
Thank you.
Just nailing it.
Thank you.
Just
No,
on
we didn't.
fire.
We didn't talk to Danielson or Leon.
I
That's all right.
talked to.
We talked to Danielson last year.
We did.
Yeah.
Briefly.
I actually caught Danielson walking to his truck, and I talked to him on the way.
Oh,
down.
nice. What'd
Yeah.
you say?
Well, I was like, dude, you know, with your new child, you're gonna need to buy a new like souped up minivan. You got like a new contract. You got all this stuff going on. And he's like, yeah, bro, I need to do that.
You didn't say that, did
I
you?
said that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so then we talked by his truck about how he likes Boise. And anyway, great guy.
No
He's
mention
awesome.
of a podcast, though.
No, I mean, whatever. It's not like I'm
So
gonna corner
JD
him
was
right
there. We didn't corner
We didn't
him.
talk
though.
to him.
We didn't get him.
I tweeted later, hey, calling him out. Let's see if we can get him on the podcast.
I saw that.
We got some likes, not very many responses. So the journey continues on that one.
One day it's
Do you
going to be
think he'll
fabulous
ever
when it happens.
join? Do you think
He
he'll
will.
ever?
He will. I've got some ideas.
Okay.
I've got some things
All
up my
right.
sleeve.
Not that we need to have him join because we're kind of like on the fans' perspective,
Yeah,
but it'd be nice to
it'd be cool.
be validated
Yeah.
on that.
Speaking, and this was not on the
Anyway.
agenda, but I saw that he was, he took questions, Twitter questions about a week ago. Did
Yeah.
you guys see
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Took a lot of them. I didn't see it till like after the fact. Otherwise, I may have jumped in. But there seemed to be some momentum from his side about scheduling Idaho. Did you guys see that
Yes,
one?
I didn't
and
see
Idaho State.
And Idaho State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact thing, but he was basically kind of what we've said. It's like if we're scheduling, our philosophy is one FCS, we should look at keeping it in the state. It's important for the state. It's important for us, whatever it was. And to me, it signaled the most I've seen in a decade of someone higher up at Boise State saying that is a possibility.
Yeah. Because
right.
before
And-
it just went ignored. It was just like, didn't comment
and
on it.
I'm on record. I would love to play that game.
Yeah.
I would love to play that game.
I think it's great for the Valley. I think it's, there's a lot of fans on both sides, obviously.
I don't understand the Boise State perspective of not wanting to play that game. I don't,
Well,
and I
you-
know there's people
you
listening.
used to, right? Orchestra? Like you used
No,
to.
I understood that for a while.
Okay.
I know why it settled down. But the perspective now, it seems to me that the reasons for not playing are twofold. One, only bad things could happen. We're supposed to win. What happens if we don't win? Which I don't think we should live in that type of fear personally.
Yep.
But secondly, I think there's this whole idea of like, well, they never helped us out back in the 70s or 80s or 90s, and we shouldn't throw them a bone and help them out.
I've never heard that.
I have heard that.
Okay.
How would they help us out?
No, back in the day when they were the higher institution, I don't know how they helped out.
We've surpassed them.
They
as a
didn't
higher
help us out, is what I'm
institution.
saying. They didn't help
Okay.
Right.
Boise State. They kept us down, whatever. Why should we throw them a lifeline or whatever? I don't like either of those. I think we should play the game.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends. We know a lot of people win at U of I. I think it'd be fun. And ultimately, we would win the game. And if we didn't win the game, we have bigger problems.
Yeah. Well, so
my
you're saying there's a thawing in
It appears
relations.
It appears that there's a thawing. And I think it's going to happen. Idaho State, I couldn't care less.
How important is that?
Might as well be Portland State. I'd like to keep the money in, I guess, in the state if we're going to pay an
Well,
FCS team.
it seemed like the last
But
thing,
I don't really care
last
about
time
Idaho
it was
State.
brought up was that like U of I wanted to do it, but hey, it's not going anywhere on the
Yeah.
Boise State
Well,
side.
That's what it seems
How
like.
many administration changes have there been on both sides since?
Some, yes.
It seems like
Several.
they've turned over a couple times.
And we're going to have a new president. I don't,
Is that going to happen?
Well, they're hiring. I mean, Trump's gone.
she's gone.
She's gone. There's an interim right now. So, yeah.
So
that
there's
is
there's an
happening.
open spot as a president, also on the cheerleading squad,
Yes.
right?
Is there?
I mean, she's like head cheerleader
Oh,
too.
that makes sense. Well, we'll see.
Is there?
We'll see.
Hey, can I bring up one other thing?
Yeah,
This is
Oops.
more shirts and skins related than Boise State related. I was at my daughter's basketball tournament in Eastern Idaho this weekend.
Dayton?
Not Dayton.
Oh, you didn't
Sorry,
see
I
Dayton.
didn't. I should have called Dayton.
Oh, why not?
Should have gone to lunch with Dayton.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going over to Idaho Falls in September. I might text Dayton.
Yeah. There's a referee at one of the games, and I'm on the phone in the hall talking. He wasn't reffing. This was before the game. And I get off the phone call. And he's like, "Hey, are you on the Shirts and Skins podcast?"
Why do they always
We just can't
recognize
get
you?
away
Why
from
do they
people.
always,
always
recognize
recognize
you?
And I had a hat on, and I don't,
Sunglasses?
I was a little bit incognito. I don't know.
That's
All right.
funny.
Doug Buse is his name. So
Doug's a great guy.
He's a good guy. Shout out to Doug.
Do you mind if we jump in?
Yeah. No.
You don't mind? You want to talk
I
about
do-
it? Okay, let's talk
I
about
had
Doug.
a couple of stories.
I want to talk about the PAC. What are we going to say? Is it the PAC? Or is it the PAC-12?
Pack 8.
It's
I can't
officially
say
the Pac-12.
just the Pac.
You almost have to.
Because
Pac-12 seems like a mockery.
every other conference can do it, right? The Big Ten.
Yeah.
I know. But they've
Big 12.
upgraded. Every time
They're
that they've...
past. They're
well,
like,
yeah, we're
below.
We're below.
It's hard.
Well, anyway, do you care? Okay, so there's some whisperings out there, and there's some discussion. We'll talk about Memphis, and we'll talk about the other teams. But there's some whisperings out there, and the decision needs to be made fairly quickly. If we reference a specific article that was written at ESPN today, or what was it? Was it yesterday?
I think yesterday. I think last night.
Anyway, talking about certain Texas state
out of the Sun Belt.
out of the Sun Belt. Actually, trivia. How many Division I football teams are there in Texas? You guys can both do it. Hold on. Let me get some music to get it going here.
Division 1.
Like FBS, you're saying? FBS.
Division I.
30.
No. That FCS as well, but FBS, I'll bet there's 12.
Name them.
Oh boy. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Baylor, TCU, SMU, North Texas, Texas State, UTEP,
You're doing great, by the way.
UTSA.
UTSA, Rice.
Yeah, Rice was in there.
And
That's 11.
I think there's 13.
Oh, so we're missing 2?
Yep, Stephen F. Austin.
That's FCS.
I know.
Yeah. Is there? That's what I got right now.
Yeah, I know there's more. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you're missing a couple.
Oh,
Do you want me to
big
fill
one?
fill you in?
Sure, yeah.
Where are they
go for it.
located?
Well, they're
Does it give it
located on
away?
the eastern side of the state where your friend of the show used to live.
Houston.
Yeah.
Houston. Yep. Dang
Yep.
it.
That's a big one.
That is it. That's a fairly big one. Oh, we missed that one.
I don't know if this is true. Well, I'm just going to read them off. Baylor, Houston, North Texas, Rice, SMU, Texas A&M, TCU, Texas, Texas Tech, UTEP, Texas State,
Yeah.
They actually say Sam Houston and University of Texas San Antonio. I don't know if those are
Sam
actual.
Houston's
Sam Houston.
FCS.
Okay.
So that's Division 1, but it's FCS.
Well, it says
So we got 12. That was 12.
Yeah.
there you go.
Pretty good.
That's actually pretty good. So anyway,
So
Texas
we're going for the
State-
cream of the crop, is what you're saying.
The top.
Texas State is apparently a program on the up and up. Yeah, I can give you
Apparently.
some details of it if you'd like.
Back-to-back winning seasons, right?
Okay, I guess they have a young, successful coach is what the article listed. But Texas State is sort of the program picked to come in and be the ninth team or the ninth school that would be a football.
It would be
playing
full
school.
member.
It'd be,
Yeah.
So would it be the eighth football?
Eighth football
and the ninth total.
with Gonzaga.
Because Gonzaga, yeah.
So anyway,
So let's preface this by saying by the time people listen to this, there may have been an announcement already. Because
And
it's supposed
why
to
is that?
happen maybe
Be-
this week.
Well, there's a deadline, right?
There's a deadline at the end of this month, July 1st.
July 1st because the buyout
Yep.
doubles.
Yep.
So it's $5 million before July 1st. After July 1st, it's $10 million
10
to
million.
get them out of the exit fees for the Sun Belt.
so they have to make a decision pretty soon. What are your guys' thoughts on Texas State? Matt, what
Big
are your
fan.
thoughts?
Dude, I don't know Texas State. I don't even know their colors.
It's like a maroon
I
and
can
gold.
tell ya.
It's like maroon and gold.
All right.
Do we need that in the PAC 8?
Established
gold?
in the year
We're losing
1899.
Wyoming, so you got to pick, we're losing the
What does
brown
the,
and
what does
yellow.
the font look like on the jersey? Because Wyoming is hideous.
I don't know the font.
Where's it located? San Marcos,
San Marcos.
Texas.
Where's
They
that?
say it's between
North-
Austin and,
yeah.
and San Antonio. They say it's in the fertile ground. There's going to be
You got to have fertile soil.
soil fertile. There's positives to it. I mean, there's a little UCF in them in that they are a fairly new
How much?
program, and with a massive enrollment that's just getting
40,000?
bigger. Yeah,
It's decent.
and supposedly they're starting to invest in football. The reality, in my opinion, this is the best we can get. They've spent 6+ months, more than that, trying to find the best fit, trying to somehow get UNLV potentially, trying to pry Memphis away, and this is the best we can do. And
Are you okay with this?
am I okay with it?
Yeah, if it happens. Like the
I'm not
question
excited
is,
about it.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
like whatever. It's whatever.
It's we need somebody.
But
you're
here's the
okay.
thing: we left the Mountain West to get rid of New Mexico, Nevada, Wyoming, and Air Force's triple option. That's why we left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Texas State potentially has more potential. They're in Texas, some of those positives, but
Potentially
I'm not
has more
excited.
potential.
Exactly.
There you go.
Thank you. They don't excite me, but I do think of the teams that we can get, they're the best we can get, and that's why they're going to get them.
I think it is nice to have a Texas team.
Recruiting.
Yep.
Recruiting, and I will take playing a November game in Texas over playing those dumbest
Yep.
November games
Yep.
in Laramie, Wyoming. That
Yep.
were the dumbest games.
And we
in the
were
world.
always in November.
And it's
Like,
11 p.m. And it's so stupid, dude. And so, yeah, I'd take a Texas State near Austin. So that's like a centralized location, which is
Yep.
kind of nice. I think there's a ton of recruiting aspects to it. So, I mean, from that aspect, that's great. Name recognition, okay. I guess I don't know much about Texas State. I just wanted so badly to have the Pac-12 be an upgrade of a conference. And I wanted Memphis to join, and I think that there's so many aspects of why Memphis isn't joining with the buyout clause, and the fact that they may not make more money with the Pac-12 than they would
Right.
at their current in the American Conference. And so it's like, are we able to scrounge enough together to subsist in the Pac-12 for a temporary time? Or is this like our future for a long time? And if this is our future, what's the Mountain West future? I mean,
It's
where
not
are they
good.
going to lie?
It's not good.
And so, like, it's like, are we just making decisions for the next 3 to 5 years, or are our kids going to grow up with Boise State in the Pac-12? So it's like, what is it that this step is going to get us to? Are we all just hanging around until the big separation happens? And if that's the case, we're all just paying lawyers and exit fees.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of sucks.
I
dude.
think reading the tea leaves and listening to JD a little bit, I think that Boise State is trying to position themselves for 5 years from now. And he even said it, and it was something we've said a lot in here. We lost a decade. The APSI
With
years, that was not a full decade, but the 5 years before, we won games, we had success.
You're
We
talking
didn't
from
build-
like 2014 to 2021.
kind of the heart after Pete left until JD showed up.
2014.
Yeah.
So he lost about a decade, and we didn't build anything new. We didn't invest in the program. We didn't up the rate, the salary, whatever it was. And if we would, we don't need to go there again. We just didn't do anything for a decade.
I guess
and
it was
then
after that
we kind of
third
got left.
festival.
We got left.
Okay.
We got left. And JD is doing the best he can so that when whatever happens next, we're in the best position possible. So I respect that. I do respect that. And he said it before. He can deal with failure, but he's not going to deal with not trying. So I respect that. When they got Gonzaga about 6-8 months ago, that was like, whoa, right? But unfortunately, it ended there. Like it didn't go. If you could have gotten Gonzaga, and then in this week or next week they announce either UNLV, and we'll talk about that, or Memphis, then that's a home run. As far as leaving the Mountain West, joining the Pac-12, that's a home run. And at this point, it's a solid upgrade, but not a home run. I mean, Texas State may end up being fine, but we're only talking the next few years. And it is what it is, though. It's the best that's out there. And unfortunately, I think we need to talk about the hoodwink job that we got from Teresa Gold. Do you know who that is?
The Pac-12.
Pac-12 commissioner.
Has she played college basketball?
How she
gotta
got
ask.
that job
Ask everybody.
is beyond me. She was the second. She was the second in charge when the Pac-12 completely collapsed.
So this is interesting because I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. And some people listen don't either.
Who was the former commissioner of the Pac-12?
Well, it was Larry
Scott?
Larry David. It was Larry Scott.
Curb your enthusiasm.
And then it was
Larry Scott drove it into the ground.
He drove it
Yes.
into the ground. Then they hired another dude for the last few years who was like a TV exec, a Las Vegas exec, to come and he finished it off. He didn't do a great job either.
He put the
He was there
final
when
gunshot
when
wound in
USC and UCLA left and all that. He was in charge.
Okay.
And then they had this TV deal they were going to try and iron out.
Time out this for a second.
Go ahead.
Super sorry.
It's fine.
Do you remember when Texas and Oklahoma almost went to the Pac-12?
Yeah. And they then they didn't do it.
Would have cemented the Pac-12
And Larry Scott,
in college
they were
football
like,
history.
maybe, but let's not take him. It was ridiculous. Whatever happened there. But anyways, so there was the problems with the schools leaving, and then they still had all their schools other than USC, UCLA. They had everyone, and then they totally
Oregon,
botched.
Washington,
Yeah,
everybody.
they were still in-house, and they totally botched the TV situation, as we're seeing again. And she was the second one in charge. They fire him.
Well, who's
somehow
going
they
to come
think
to the Pac-12?
anyone.
Nobody's
Anyone
going to
that's
come
not
to
the-
that. Nobody's gonna come.
somebody.
Kurt Apsey?
It's a two-team
Apsey, Mark?
conference.
Dude, she's probably consulting with Kurt Apsey. How? Dude, seriously, if you're running your business and it totally falls apart, you get fired. Is the person your second man in charge? Like how did she get this job?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, everybody that's in the room right now, 12 teams, all these really important people, they all left. Who's remaining?
There's
you.
two.
You.
get it.
You're here.
Like you're available.
They needed to go.
Nobody else is coming.
Anyways, but to her credit, Oregon State and Washington State, they totally hoodwinked us. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Two things. One, they somehow sold Boise State and the rest that coming over to the Pac-12 was going to be $10 to $15 million.
Okay, it's about 10, right?
We don't know.
Okay.
They're saying it's probably less than 10.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the alternative, Mark?
It's fine. But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Did you see we talked about last time I think we were in here, we talked about the
It's been a while.
profit, which teams made profits in the Pac-12,
Yeah.
right? Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Dude, Oregon State and Washington State just stole $20 million each
Right.
from the Pac-12 coffers. Like,
Correct.
we have this big chest. They took $45 million.
Right.
Mark talking about his big chest over there.
$45 million. They just stole it because they're in charge.
Well, yeah.
And so they're not using that money to buy out for Memphis, which they could have. But they're not.
They said in the
They
article.
just put it in their freaking pocket. And so now we're left with Texas State. If they would have, seriously, they took the money. They didn't earn that money. They got it from the Rose Bowl. They got it from USC. They got it from whatever. And they literally took $45 million. They're going to go down to like 8 or 10 or 12 or whatever going forward. And they just said, well, it's here. We're going to take it just so we don't have to fire whatever.
Well, everybody would do that.
Fine. But I'm not saying I wouldn't do it either. But ultimately, we left the Mountain West. We go to the Pac-12. It's going to be better. It's going to be better. It is going to be better.
Marginally.
It's marginally at this point. And here's the thing. If we have to pay $15 million exit fee, if we do, we'll see. That's in the courts right now. We're going to go to a conference that, so I just have it pulled up here. Boise State was making $5.1 million on TV. They're saying maybe 8 now, okay? Here's the big thing, though. Boise State was making 5.1. Their conference peers were making 3.3. Okay? So we were 1.8. We were, 40% above everyone else in the conference. Now we get a raise of maybe $3 million, but everyone else gets a raise of $5 million.
Okay.
We lost our advantage.
What advantage?
$1.8 million every year for TV.
Okay. So you're saying we had a competitive advantage that
Yes.
we had to spend over everybody else?
Yes.
Okay.
And now we lost it for an extra
I'm not
$3
buying
million?
that. I'm not buying
Well,
that.
it's true.
I know, but I'm not buying that there was a real advantage.
You don't think 1.8 is a big deal for Boise State? I think it is.
For everybody else? It's everybody else has to like bridge that gap, right?
Right.
Right.
So it's a competitive advantage that we were making more money. We had a special deal. I'm not. Ultimately, am I glad that we were missing out on Wyoming and Air Force and New Mexico? Yes. But boy, it's not a home run. It's not a home run.
No, it's not a home run. And I think that's pretty clear. That's pretty obvious. If you're waiting around, guys, it's like a fireworks show. We already saw the finale at the beginning of the show.
We did.
And we're waiting around like, that's it?
Yep.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Because Texas State, sweet.
Yeah.
Love it. We need a member. We need an 8th member, but
yeah,
not
so
exciting.
It is what it is. I will say it'll be cool to be in a conference. This is how conferences should be. You play everyone. Well, regional's cool, although Texas State's not necessarily regional. I like the idea of playing everyone in your conference. I don't like the mega conferences. I mean, these conferences don't even have divisions anymore, and we've talked about this, but depending on your conference schedule is who gets to the championship. You know what I mean? I mean, look at some of the people that played in the championship games in the Big 12 last year, their schedule, how it lined up and whatever. I like the idea of you play everyone. And I'm actually excited to go to a smaller conference. You play everyone every year, home one year, away the next year. I'm excited about that part. I really am.
All right.
Hopefully develop some rivalries, right? Because I think
I
that's
think
what
that
was
the
lost in the Mountain West when it's like you skip 2 years of playing Fresno State.
And San Diego State.
San Diego State, you forget.
Yep.
It's like we used to hate them.
Yep.
But now it's not so bad.
No, I think that's cool. That is cool. I like that. We play Fresno every year. We play San Diego State every year. And then Oregon State and Washington State. I think those are going to become new rivals, right? They're fairly easy drives.
Snake River rivalry.
That's what they called one of them, right? Wazoo?
Washington
Yeah.
State.
So I know I just sat here and bashed, and that's me spouting off a little bit. Ultimately, it is a better situation. If somehow we could get above 10, 12 million, that's great. Better. It does sound some things we found out lately. It looks like ESPN might be back in Boise.
Why?
They say that ESPN is probably part of the deal.
Oh, is it?
Yes. And now that's 8:30 kickoff times, which people don't like. But I think that we lost a lot.
I don't know.
Is it that
I
big of
think
a
we did.
deal to have ESPN?
Yes.
Because I don't really mind FS1.
Right?
I
mean, the biggest deal I don't sit and watch SportsCenter anymore.
CBS Sports is a little.
CBS Sports not great.
I don't know.
I think the biggest deal is that, and this is all media, and this is natural. I'm not bashing on anyone, but the reality is that when ESPN is not contracted with your conference, you see it in college basketball. They don't talk about your teams. You see it in college football. The only press we've had in the last 8 years or whatever was the Genty, and think about how much bigger that would have been if we were an ESPN team. He got plenty of press this year, and deservedly so. But before that, I just think that they pushed Memphis a lot more. They pushed Tulane because those games are on ESPN. So I think the biggest deal is just the Herb Street effect. They talk about their
College
teams a lot. College game day. So I think that is a big deal. How much is that worth? I don't know how you put a dollar amount on that, but if that is a byproduct of going to the Pac-12, that's a positive. That's a net positive.
All right. I'm not as sold on that as I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be devastated.
Well, ESPN, about the ESPN thing?
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
they were the thing.
They were.
And they've fallen off.
Right. So I don't know how I feel about it. I actually really liked the Mountain West Championship game. The big noon kickoff was there.
That was cool. That was cool.
That's what they called it, right?
Yeah.
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. That was a cool experience to watch them and to walk down there.
Urban Meyer and everybody.
Matt Leinart and Ingram and everybody. And who was it? Noah, the Notre Dame quarterback.
Brady Quinn.
Brady Quinn. That's who it
Noah.
is. Not even close to Noah.
Noah's Ark.
Noah Khan.
Noah Khan. That's probably what I was
Stick
thinking.
season.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought so. I don't know. I guess I just don't know how I feel about the ESPN thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. And maybe it's a tide that rises all the boats in the ESPN thing. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. Speaking of money, JD, did you see that JD posted about a private equity
I did see
option?
that.
Yes.
I did see that.
I want to talk about that. How I don't know the details, and I don't know that everybody knows the details. If we can, I think all of our listeners are smarter than we are, clearly. But if we were to talk about private equity, typically speaking, a private equity purchases an asset.
So he came out and said that he was not going to give up equity. So it's
So I don't know.
So it's not
what
private
type of-
equity. It's private investment.
Well, all right. Well, then, so, traditionally speaking, private equity gets into an
Correct.
event for 5 years, exits, and then typically a larger private equity comes in at that rate, goes in for 5 years, exits. And so, but traditionally speaking, private equities, they can get their hands in there and they can muck things up quite a bit.
Sure.
Because their only goal is to benefit shareholders
Sure.
and to make a profit. Now, how do you make a profit on a public
Yeah, I don't.
entity football program?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go too far because I don't know the details great about private equity, but also just I feel like I saw JD say they're not going to give up equity in Bronco Sports or whatever. So that tells me it's not private equity in its definition.
Yeah. So it's like that they, this says they're doing lending the capital and earning returns via repayment, not ownership.
Okay, so it's
So
just like a loan.
A loan.
It's a
It's
loan.
a private loan.
It's private loan, not He said that our debt, basically the school and the athletic department has a debt ceiling to some extent, and we're like at that debt ceiling.
Okay, so he's
so
looking
we
to
need
get-
somewhere else to borrow money from, is what it sounds like to me. I don't want to misspeak, but that was the impression I got.
Okay, well, the loan makes sense. I mean,
Totally.
if they can do it smartly, I don't know who bails them out. Like if JD totally runs it into the ground and then leaves.
Like, oh,
Like,
sorry.
okay, wow.
I
what
don't
do
have
we
your
do now?
money.
Yeah, like who's in charge now, right?
Call
That's
Kurt.
kind of tough. I mean, uncharted territory.
Yeah, I just think that he, again, we like JD. I'm sorry that I bashed on him 3 years ago.
It's
I'm
the reason
sorry.
he won't join us.
I'm
He's
sorry.
doing stuff, Mark.
He's doing stuff. I agree. And he said, and this is the point. He said that our expectations outweigh our finances or something like that.
Okay.
And so he's right. We want to be a top 25 program. We feel like we're a Power 4 program. The reality is we don't have the finances to support that. So he is uncovering every rock possible.
He's
to
doing
how
the-
can I fund this?
He's doing the opposite of what your nemesis Kurt
Absolutely.
did.
He's
right?
doing the exact opposite, and that's exactly the right thing. He has to figure it out.
because he doesn't have the solution, but he's like, we're gonna turn over every stone,
Yeah.
to get there.
So
And-
I think he should. I mean, you have to trust in him at this point.
I'm a bit hesitant about financially exposing ourselves to some risk that, that there isn't, I don't know, accountability attached to.
So I
How
don't
so?
know what that means.
So like I'm Mr. Investor.
Okay, so
Hey,
is this a
Brandon.
loan that we have to pay off?
Yeah.
Okay, so
have to pay back.
So who's paying this back? The season ticket holders, the the
University.
taxpayer, the universities? Like,
Yeah.
who's paying this
Well, the
back?
taxpayer and certainly not, and that's why we're in the problem we are right now. 12 out of 12. I will
didn't
beat this
start it,
into the
dude.
freaking ground, dude. 12 out of 12. The state funds Boise State 12th out of 12th in the Mountain West. That's the problem.
Okay. That
We
being
have a
said,
surplus every year. I got a check for $164 to get my income taxes back last year. Give me a frickin' break, dude. Throw a couple bones over to Boise State football. Please.
okay, all right. Do you want to keep going with it? or
That's about all I
So
got.
Brandon, you're not buying it. Or you're
I
not
just am a
pumped.
little worried. Like, I don't like
good point.
that somebody else can sign the dotted line on something that everybody else is responsible for if it goes bad.
Is that just the inherent risk though? Like with any investment, like there's got to be
No,
some type
if you take the risk, oftentimes you get the reward,
Well, it will.
and also you take the exposure of what you're going to go through, right? But if somebody else, and I don't know if this is the deal, but if somebody signs to take the risk, who has to hold the bag when they're done? If it doesn't go well, like if we fall on our face and we go through a ton of different coaches and there's like a really big problem, Who pays that?
Maybe we just give him season tickets.
I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
a good point,
I
and
don't know.
JD isn't going to be here forever.
He's not going to be here,
And-
but
and-
if he's signing it, is he making these decisions? Like, well, what oversight is there over that, right? Like, who is it? I'm just curious about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate that he's trying things.
I agree.
I
agree.
And ultimately, you got to trust he hasn't made too many bad decisions at this point, although, you never know. But it's just he's got to try something. I mean, he was asked last week about, where Boise State was as far as the whole NIL payment stuff, right? So the House settlement's passed since last time.
Yep.
Schools are free to pay their students $20.5 million.
Right. That BSU is going to try to participate in.
So BSU has already said we are accepting. So we're gonna go by the rules, whatever. He did not answer the question as to where we're at on that number. He didn't want to.
Right.
Are we at 2 million? Are we at 4 million? Are we at 5 million? We're certainly nowhere near 20, and he said that. So he needs to bridge that gap, man. It's like it's any of your guys' businesses. If all of a sudden it was like, I think his costs were like, don't quote me on this. It was like $40 or $50 million a year. So all of a sudden you got another up to $20 million of cost, and you have no additional revenue. How are you going to make that work?
No, I get it.
You got to find
outgrow
new
it.
revenue.
Yeah, you got to outgrow it. Speaking of Dickey, he just won an award.
Athletic Director of the Year.
Athletic Director of the Year by the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics.
The NACTA.
The NACTA. Yeah, it's a big organization.
Yeah.
For the 2024-2025 academic year. I mean, could there have been a better hire for Boise State?
No.
At the time that it happened, at everything that happened, could there have been a better hire at all?
Nope.
I honestly think, that's the most home run hire we've ever seen besides Chris Peterson.
Yeah.
And Chris Peterson was kind of like, he was already here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was Jeramiah Dickey. I remember that name. I was like, who's this? He was a relative unknown. He was an associate AD at Baylor. We make fun of Marlene Trump a little bit, but she made that hire, right?
Yeah.
Trump made
I
that
think
hire.
she made it
She pulled the
based
plug on
a
APSI.
consulting. She got APSI out
that was
immediately.
ballsy. Yeah.
That was. And then she hired Jeremiah.
Yep.
And then Jeremiah hired,
Well,
but not a big deal there.
that was
it
not
was
his
like
fault.
bang, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
So, as far as, I don't know how many great hires have been in Boise State history. Maybe we can go over the top 5, but he's got to be up there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
far.
Oh, yeah. I have my issues with the scheduling. We've talked about that. We don't need to talk about it today. But in every other way possible, what a fit. What a hire.
He said he didn't love scheduling.
He did. He came out and said he didn't like it. And it shows. He hasn't done jack squat. But we'll leave that.
I think it's hard. I think
It is hard.
scheduling is so hard.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I just think, I don't know. I'm going to, in fact, I wouldn't mind asking, what are the top 5 hires in Boise State history?
Well, yeah, you got to start with Chris
Peterson.
even though it was kind of there.
Gene Blameyer with the blue turf. No?
So
Gene Blairmeyer's on there.
Gene's got to be top 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeremiah, let's see how Jeremiah's tenure ends up. But I think Gene right now is still in front of
Lyle
him.
Smith.
Lyle Smith's got to be there. And then you got to say Leon Rice probably, right? I know
Whoa,
I know Ren's
dude,
not going to
look
like
at you
that. But you got it. You think
I
about
actually agree with
basketball.
that.
He's the top
agree with
basketball
that.
hire. It's got to be Leon.
So Chris
he's-
Peterson,
Yeah.
Gene Blameyer,
Yep.
2,
Yeah.
Lyle
Yep.
Smith,
Yep. Jeremiah Dickey.
Jeremiah, and Leon
Leon
Rice.
Yeah.
Top 5
And,
BSU hires of all time.
Danielson could work his way in there.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
It's
but
too soon.
Brian
Yeah, way
Hurst
too
is probably in front of Danielson.
At this point, sure.
Because of length.
Yeah.
Of
Arms.
arm
Wait,
length.
what?
Girth.
Okay.
Just overall.
General length.
Well,
It's usually what we go off of.
dude, how many times did we see APSI put out
I don't know, dude. It was probably Hawkins in front of. It's probably Harson.
Hawkins was.
Hawk.
Dude.
Well, you got to
Dirk.
think about Dirk the first time because he brought in
but Dirk
Hawk
both.
and Pete.
But Dirk
There's
was
been some good
short-lived.
hires.
Like he
There's
was-
only a 2-year thing.
Yeah.
But he started it all. He did start
He
it
did.
all. He brought
Is
in
Dirk
Hawk. He
ahead of
brought in
Hawk?
Pete.
He
The fact
started
that he
it.
started it all was big, huge, massive.
Huge.
Yeah,
that's a tough
we've had some good hires. We've had very few duds. Skip Hall
Skip Hall's a dud.
Andy Avalos.
and Diablos
2.
in 30, 40 years.
Bobby Dye?
He was not a dud.
he's not Leon Rice, but
He was good.
he's good.
Graham.
Graham was not
Graham.
great.
Jensen.
Rod Jensen,
No.
not great.
No.
Graham went to the tournament, I think once or twice.
Yeah, they played
Greg
the
Graham?
WAC,
Yeah.
but he did make it there once or twice.
Pokey Allen.
He was
He was
good.
good.
He was good. He was
He also had bad
folklore,
seasons,
but
and
yeah.
obviously-
Yeah. All right.
Dude, how many times do we see Kurt Apsey's department put out some image of the stadium 360 degree? I still see people on Facebook like posting, this is what Boise State's going to look like. It's like 60,000 seats.
Wait, where are we
Or
going
like,
with that?
Oh, just like Apsey for years talked about, we're going to expand the stadium. We're going to do the east side. He didn't do jack crap.
He didn't do
Ultimately, he didn't raise $1 for it. Jeremiah shows up, sees all these plans like a joke. And now all of a sudden, I mean, we talked about shovel in the ground before he left. This thing's going to be finished in a year, and it looks awesome.
It looks great.
It's good.
I was at so I did go to one of my out of town jaunts a couple weeks ago. I was in San Diego,
Every week.
and we went to a professional. My daughter's playing soccer soccer tournament in San Diego. We went to a professional NWSL soccer game.
Okay.
And they play at Snapdragon Stadium, which is
How was the turf condition?
awesome.
Okay.
The turf looked fantastic.
Okay.
Green, everything. They've had issues with in the football season. That stadium's awesome. That stadium
Snapdragon
is awesome.
Stadium.
Yeah. Just the way they make stadiums now. Like you go and you show your ticket and you're not in the stadium yet though. There's a massive concourse outside of the stadium where there's merchandise sales,
Sure.
there's a bunch of different food, barbecue, tons of room.
Absolutely.
Great lighting, and then in the stadium, it's a nice size, 35, 40, whatever it is. It's not huge. But they've got the party porch, they've got the luxury boxes that are in between the first and second level, right? So they're not up at the top.
Okay.
They're right there. One end zone has, I think, kind of what we're doing here, but it looked like kind of restaurant, open seating, open bar place. Fantastic stadium. So what JD is doing in the north end zone, I think, is going to have a little bit of that.
Is our stadium, not to cut you off,
No, it's fine. That's
there's
all I had.
historic stadiums,
Yeah.
and then there's awesome stadiums.
Yeah.
Is ours historic?
It's not awesome. It's
For the blue turf,
the
yes.
blue turf is
Okay,
it.
so the field.
Yes.
Field.
Because
But, I mean, you look at our stadium, we had a track around the field.
but if
That
you,
hurts.
if you go
That
back,
hurts
if
it.
you go back when we started going to BSU in 2006, and you go to the stadium then,
There's only east and west. There's no north and
yeah, there
south.
was. There's north and south.
I mean,
Just
go back
They were
far
teeny
enough.
tiny. Yeah,
well,
far enough.
okay,
there
so I'm
wasn't,
just
but-
saying the 20 years ago when we were going to Boise State.
They were
2006.
removable.
Well, maybe I went before you a little bit. There was like nothing in the north and south.
Well,
end
what about
zones.
2002?
No, they were removable. Like they took them off for like
Right,
track.
Track. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, they had like a yard, like a grass field between the road and the stadium. They had the track, and then they had the bleachers that they would set up and
Yeah.
If you were to take somebody from there and pick them up and plop them into the stadium, they'd be like, "Wow, we've done really well." I think they would,
Yeah.
but it's not good enough. Like if you go to a really nice stadium,
Yeah.
it's
Boise
different.
State could do with just an incredible state of the art stadium because we would fill it, and we'd do a good job with it.
Yeah.
You think we would fill it?
I think we would fill it.
Well, I don't
mean,
think you need too much bigger. They're doing their best.
I would say state of the art. You don't even need to be. You don't need to be 50,000 or whatever. I think with the growth in the area, with the season that we had last year, that could potentially boost us to consistently high numbers. I don't know what the season ticket sales are. Or I don't know where they're at with football or not. But I mean, last season especially, we obviously Genty and the playoffs and everything going on. I mean, it was packed to the max, dude.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
No, you're
It
not
was
wrong.
awesome.
The thing is, they're putting $65 or $70 million into this thing. They've got the Stuckel Sky Center, which is really nice. They're not no time soon are they going to do that. But what they could do is they could demolish the east side.
Okay.
Just completely demolish.
We all
it
agree with
and
that.
go down into slide the
field
stadium
over.
over. To
Slide the field.
Slide the field over. Yep. Like move the field over.
Okay.
And then just tear it down to that direction. And then they could actually do the same on the west side. Not the luxury box, but they could take and they could redo it piece by piece. They could do that over a couple decades. But I don't think that, you're putting so much money into it now, you're not going to tear down what we're building
north
now.
side, yeah.
But I think you could.
If you have enough money.
Yeah, but they're not going to. That's not happening. But
Downer.
they're doing the
Come
right
on,
stuff.
Mark. Dream.
I'm excited for the north end zone. I think it's just going to be a game changer. I do.
Yeah, and then until the next one, until we need the next thing, which is the east side.
Yeah, and they're saying east side. So,
Dude, Dickey, if he's a smart guy, obviously. We talked about the east side. The troughs are still there.
Yeah.
He could auction those off, make a little money.
we would buy one. Where's the money?
They're disgusting, dude.
Where's the money?
I haven't been to
Dude,
a trough in a long
isn't
time.
that in the trough fund? The money that we're
The
getting
trough
from
budget?
this?
Well, we need a few more faces. We
We're
need a
starting
couple
it
more
though, right?
faces, dude. I don't want to try. I participated in the trough situation many times in my life.
In the cold?
I went back to like Meridian Speedway and they had a trough situation.
Oh.
And I was like, bro, there's a reason I hate that. I hated that trough. I hated those. We're shoulder to shoulder with guys that are like halfway
Steaming.
through
Steam.
a dozen tallies, and it's like I just don't know what I'm doing here. I got to get out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited for the north end zone. I hope that it works out. I really do. I know. I'm sure it will. No big deal there. Do you guys see that if you're a guest on our show, you get
Oh, dude.
you typically
It
get
happens.
bonuses or promotions.
Yeah. This is a real thing, guys.
Recently, we had a guest on here,
We'll talk about the first one. So how?
Nathan Carroll.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, do you want me to talk about?
Yeah. What happened?
Nathan,
let's prove our.
So Nathan Carroll, frequent guest on the show. Only person this hasn't happened to is Taylor Whitney.
yet.
Yeah. So Taylor, sorry. Nathan Carroll came on and everybody liked him so much more than Mark.
Yep,
That
no
they
doubt.
put him on Bronco Nation News.
Yeah.
So it goes to show that the potential that Mark has is unfulfilled. So Nathan, we catapulted him into the spotlight, into the future.
Yeah.
Jay Tust joined us not too long ago.
Yeah. 2 episodes ago, I think.
Was it 2 episodes? So what was that?
Because
Year
we had
and a half?
Nathan Carroll. Yeah.
Was that 6-7 months ago?
2022.
It was like, yeah, Mark, like 10 of Mark's vacations ago. So Jay Tust comes on working for KTVB.
Yeah.
BSU hired him to be I guess a media personality.
Well, to
with
run
BSU.
Bronco Studios.
There you go.
So he's going to do daily videos.
Okay.
He's
Wa-
basically
watch
doing
out, BNN.
but
For
through
Boise
Boise State. That sounds like what it is.
Okay.
He will also on-demand videos. So
All right.
other videos that aren't daily. He used to do like the blueprint for Boise State, which is like
Well,
the documentary
congratulations
thing.
for him,
That's awesome. I think
Jay Tust.
looking at Jay and kind of knowing a little bit behind the scenes, the guy just is always working.
Grinder.
Yeah.
Driving to high school games, driving to Boise State games, editing video, a lot of work. So I think this is cool because it allows him more family time.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. When you look at the media coming through Boise State, I think it'll be exciting. I think it's a perspective that we can't get anywhere else. I think BNN obviously is going to be a little bit different,
Okay.
even though those two might compete with each other. Because you get like BJ, who's more the beat type,
Right.
personality, and then you got Jay, who's going to be doing video and cool interviews and stuff like that.
And he'll have more inside access.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he's employed. He's now we.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of the Broncos, he's like we. So you get a different perspective, which is fine because they're not doing anything like that right now.
Yeah, you won't get the critical perspective, right?
No, I mean no, but that's okay. That's
It's
what you
okay.
have.
It's a different one. That's
a
why
lot
you-
of I think it's awesome. I think more perspectives and whatever, and good for him. Good guy. So
does
who's
this
next?
how does this affect BNN?
Dude, I think they're too good of
it-
friends to like.
No,
yeah,
it's not gonna
and they've already talked
No,
about it.
no.
sure.
BNN's they've got their role. It's not like anyone's going
And I
to
think-
unsubscribe from
I
BNN
think
because
Jay, they said, because he worked out his deal with still showing
Yeah.
up on BNN. I think that's still going to happen.
I'm
yeah,
sure.
that'll happen for a little while. But that I guarantee in a year. I'm sorry, BJ.
Guarantee?
Jay, in a year, Jay's not still doing BNN every
Oh,
week.
all right. Okay.
I just know how these things work.
Yeah.
I just do.
Oh, you do?
yes.
You're a frequent.
Hot
in
take.
this-
Hot
No.
take. Hot take. In a year,
Mark's a
He's
media
not still
member.
doing it.
It's just
He's
like-
had media credentials before.
All right. Okay.
no.
So
Hey,
congratulations
hey,
to Jay.
Speaking of media, let's stay on the media track
Okay.
here. There's a media pro day in July.
Dude, I heard
Yeah.
about that.
Right.
What happened?
I checked our spam folder.
What email
checked
do
our
we have, by the way?
Antivirus.
Do we have
Is
an
it
email?
your email?
Is it just
Yeah,
yours?
it goes to mine.
Okay. Are we talking like a direct message to our X account?
We didn't get anything.
Yeah.
How did we
didn't
not get invited?
Are we not on that anymore?
Dude,
Well,
here's
Is
the
it a new
problem.
season?
We still,
Patrick Walsh was our in,
Patrick, where are you,
he
dude?
got
and he got
outed.
yeah,
canned.
canned.
And so our credentials for
Chris-
next year are up in the air.
Chris Coots.
Is that who's? I
That's
don't
the
even
guy.
know who's in charge.
Brandon, remember you
He doesn't
emailed
know
him
us.
when the Mountain West
That's true.
Conference Championship was here, and
he
he
denied
said,
us.
"You're not good enough."
Oh, he did. He denied us.
Well, there were tons
Not
of like Fox
good.
people here.
Okay.
There's no way we were. I don't know.
So our credentials next year.
Which I tagged Mr. Coots
what did he
in a
say?
tweet because I was like, "Hey,
Yeah, to get Dickey on.
well, no, it was another one because I was
Oh,
like,
the
hey,
media
I
thing?
think we lost our invite." Nothing.
He's the Dickey playbook.
At least respond and be like
Oh.
crickets or something. I don't know.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a bummer because
do?
I feel like
But Brandon would
I'm
win
not
the
in
kick
great
thing.
shape. Like I feel like I pull a hamstring, but I think we could do okay.
I think
in
we
that.
could. I
Oh,
mean,
the pro day. A
Yes.
Media, what do you mean a media pro day? Like,
They're doing a media, like the media members are partaking in pro
the
day.
hell did we miss
We
out
did,
on? I
we
put a
did.
49
That's what
pound there.
That's what he's talking
get
about.
on Twitter and plead your case, man.
Goodness gracious.
That's what I'm saying. We would dominate.
yeah.
Who else is? You think Prater's gonna like outrun you?
You know who I need to race is
ball-
Bedell.
But
Bedell told me to my face that he'd beat me right
No
now.
way.
Yeah,
Are
he
you
did.
serious?
He said
In
that.
a
You were
40.
there.
We need.
You were there.
If there's anyone still listening to this, I mean, who are we tagging? Who are they tagging? Matt, who is it?
Chris Coots,
Chris Coots.
JD. Why not?
Anyone?
Probably
we need the
Goggler.
invite.
Cody Goggler.
There's no way I'm actually going to be in town for this, so we know it's you two.
No, it's like a
but-
Wednesday, I think.
I'd do
Okay,
it.
I'm in
I
town.
would 100% do it.
I've
I've already done it.
And when I said that, our good buddy who we've never
Dayton.
met, Gabe Iguodala, was like,
Oh.
"Let's just show up and do walk on media day."
we should. Let's
Like,
ask.
hey,
We're here to walk
we're
on.
here.
Oh man, I don't know
Oh,
if I
that
could
kind
do
of buzz
that.
me out, man.
You didn't know
I
about this?
thought I just didn't
You
lit
did-
it into it. I saw the text and I was like, a media day something, and I didn't really look into it.
Well, it's like part of the whole Boise State media day. So they have their interviews with players and stuff, and they said, "Let's do a little media day event." And we didn't.
And,
we got
and it's
snubbed.
not the 225. There's no bench press. I don't believe.
I don't
Was
think
there?
so.
Just
Thank
a
goodness.
40 and a vertical or something.
I think there's a vertical. I think there was a 40.
Are
I
they
think
gonna
there was
run it? Are
a
they
Kicking.
kicking. Yeah, there was some.
I think you'd like
Dude,
catch.
you would dominate kicking. You almost walked
You
on
were
at
almost
Boise
a walk
State,
on.
dude.
You ran the 40. We have
I
proof.
did. I know.
It wasn't
It was
great.
incredibly
but
slow.
It's faster than
I
sorry, but faster than
guarantee you I would
anybody
be
else
the
is going to
faster
be doing
medium.
it.
Faster than ball game? Could you outrun ball game?
I think I could right now.
yeah, dude.
I'd ride.
Johnny ball game.
You know,
I
Johnny
texted
was
ball game about
dude.
it.
Johnny.
I'm sporting the BNN because we had our T-shirt.
We got to sport KTIKs. Who got like 90
No,
That's
no,
a good
no.
point. We don't have those
Yeah.
T-shirts.
But ball
though.
game
Ball game
repped
sported
us.
he repped the shirts and
ball
skins.
game. Where's our shirts, man?
Yeah, where are our shirts? They need to have us on.
You're
I'm
thinking
bummed.
about
You're
this.
bummed.
Brandon
We're all
is thinking
Super
about
bummed
this.
it. I'm super bummed
It's
about
it's
it.
in July.
We got it. Well, let's tag them on the. Let's like.
I don't think we should let this die.
No, I agree with that. Until the day up.
And maybe post your
I'll post it. I'll
your
post it.
video. We
Yeah.
could link the video in there.
Absolutely. Post
Yeah.
it until we get on.
What if the real media guys get showed up by wannabe podcaster guys?
Wannabe?
I
That
mean-
would pole vault us into the national media
think so.
stage, dude.
I think so.
I just feel like I laid the foundation for this in
Yeah.
the first place. You know, like
I'm.
I don't know. Whatever. All right. Well, we're gonna have to tweet that out.
We're gonna have to tweet it out.
All right.
I mean,
Our
we need to start a
listeners-
movement.
Ooh.
Our listeners like it, retweet it, reshare it, all that stuff.
Yeah, we need Mark's family to do that.
But Mark, before we can ask our listeners to do stuff,
Yeah.
I need to ask you to do something.
What?
Okay.
I need you to apologize.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Not to me,
To who?
to our good buddy Chase Cord.
Oh,
Oh,
that was a
yeah,
long time
yeah.
ago. So
Riley Smith was on the
look,
show.
I apologize,
Look
Chase
at the
Cord.
camera.
Where's my camera?
right
here?
there? Yes.
Chase, I know that you're watching. I'm very sorry. I dragged you.
Was that Ryan Finley?
It was Ryan Finley. Ryan Finley, you were the dog that was drinking and busted
Ran
out of a
from the
car,
cops.
ran from the cops. Chase Cord was innocent. And Chase, I'm sorry.
What are you
I'm
going to
very
do to
sorry.
make up for it, Mark?
Well, let's invite him on the pod.
And
Chase
have a
Ford?
formal apology.
Get him on the pod. Yeah. Let's get him on.
Is there any
Formal
financial retribution you have to
I'm broke. I got nothing.
He spends it all in traveling on the weekends. for sports.
Pretty much, dude. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I do. Anyways. Oh, yeah.
That's
that was
funny.
my bad. That was Ryan Finley.
Sorry, Chase.
Not so
Yeah,
fast.
that was a bummer, man.
Yeah, That was bad. Glad we didn't get like a cease and desist or anything like that.
You know who?
Well, nobody watches. So.
You know who didn't get a promotion after joining the show? Austin Bolt.
Austin Bolt.
Oh.
Yeah. Do we know anything about this? Is it injury, most likely? Is it performance? Mark, what are you hinting at?
I don't know.
Austin Bolt is no longer on the Boise State roster.
I heard
you
that there
gonna
was
throw
rumors.
somebody else under the mud?
No, I heard there were rumors on Twitter and everything. I saw zero of the rumors. I didn't see any of the rumors. So I texted someone that maybe would be in the know, and he said, "Oh, I heard rumors of this, that, and the other." He couldn't confirm it, so he didn't want to blast it out, and so I'm not going to either. But apparently there were rumors about some misdoings.
Oh, that's too
I don't
bad.
know.
Local kid.
I don't know if that was that, and I don't. We like Austin. We're
Is he gonna
both
try out
guys.
for the basketball team?
He should. Maybe
He
that was
should.
it. Maybe it was he. You know, man, physically he had a rough go of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I assumed. But the weird thing about it is that usually if someone medically retires, like there's a tweet that goes out by
Yeah,
the school. None of that happened. The school didn't acknowledge it.
That's
The
true.
school didn't say, "Hey, we loved your time." Like it was like he was gone.
There's no going away party.
So generally, that's wrongdoing. Like if I'm being honest, we don't know the situation, or he just quit, or maybe not a wrongdoing. He's just like, I don't have the passion. I'm done. That's the other one. But even then, you
still,
think
you
the
say.
school would have said, "Hey, we loved having you."
You thank the university and coaches.
Yeah, he was MIA as far as anything on social. They didn't mention it. He just didn't show up on the roster, and so that's too bad because he's a local kid. He was dominant, star in high school. Had some really nice moments as a player, and was geared up to have a big time role. And it's too bad. And now it leaves us to.
Well, I was going to ask.
Go ahead.
Wide receivers. Is Chris Marshall still on the team?
I think he
It's
is.
Chris Marshall.
Where's Chris Marshall?
Dude, talk about like having an opportunity, man. You got to walk through that door. Like every other competent receiver other than Latrell Caples is gone. Like, dude, you got to just walk through the door and
Catch the
play.
ball.
Like, be available,
I mean,
and
we're
you're going to
taking
could be a
basketball
star.
players.
We're taking basketball players, dude. We hit the portal so hard.
We crossed
For wide
over to
receivers.
another sport.
We got a wide receiver that hasn't played in 5 years, and we got a JC dude that had 3 catches last year. That was our portal haul for the wide receivers. I mean, what the hell is going on here? Danielson, help me out here.
He's trying.
What?
Actually, he didn't.
Come on.
Dude, Kobe Young reached out to him.
I need
He didn't reach out to Kobe Young.
That's
So
true.
maybe that means they're really happy with the young guys coming in and what they got coming
Yeah,
back.
maybe they are.
Because it has to be. Because they didn't bring in anything with any proven.
Cam Bates still.
Yes, we got Cam Bates. We got Latrell Caples.
Louder.
Chase
Well,
Penry's
yeah.
going to be. He's not going to be.
Is he?
We know who
He's
Chase
got
Penry
another-
is. He's
he's-
here, and he's
Wow,
going to be
he's
a
been around
possession
We got
guy.
Ben Ford.
They got Ben Ford, same guy as Penry. Might as well be the same guy.
Are those the same guys as Bolt?
No,
No,
Bolt's a
Bolt
little
had
more
some speed,
dynamic. He
yeah.
had more speed. You basically have Latrell Caples and you have Chris Marshall and you got Bates. If those 3 can be healthy and available and play, that's fine. And then hopefully you have Kobe Young running a deep
but
route.
look at Kobe Young, 6'7", bro,
Yeah.
with some leaps.
Yeah, he might end up.
Every
take a
single
flyer on
goal
him.
line fade, you just throw to
Yeah,
him.
take a flyer on him. That's fine. But man, you lose Bolt, you lose Prince, and you bring in a JC guy with three catches. Like, how did that happen? I know we hosted a bunch of guys, and I'm not into the whole recruiting thing, but it's crazy that they weren't able to nab a little bit of a bigger name or someone with some production in the no one, like zero.
Yeah.
That's
I think
it
this-
seemed like a swing and a miss. If we're being honest,
Yeah.
we're calling it like it is. I mean, they talked about it. Danielson talked about it. Like, yeah, we got to go get wide receivers, they got Young and a JC dude with 3 catches. That's it.
We snagged Cam Camper last year.
And that was a big get.
It was good.
That
That
was
was
bummer to miss Cam Capper.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, all of a sudden, Bulls. And now is that the difference between winning the conference or not? Probably not. But the wide receiver room was already kind of questionable.
I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
So last year I thought we had a really good wide receiver room.
Okay.
Just
Underutilized?
very much underutilized.
Sure.
And
Sure.
rightly so. But I thought they're like, there's only going to be 12 passes. I don't know,
Yeah.
20 passes max, and then he's going to complete hopefully around 70% of them, and it's going to go to Louder. It's going to go to sometimes Genty and sometimes a fullback. I don't know, dude. I don't think – I mean, they wanted you want 3-5 catches a game. I mean, one receiver could have gotten that, maybe. But anyway, I thought we had the players to do a really good job on the wide receiver. But
So you're not. I mean, I don't know.
But
I mean, they
losing
must be
Strawn-
okay. They must feel okay with it because, I mean, you got to think Danielson's hit a lot of home runs in the recruiting and whatever, and the fact that they didn't.
So Matt Miller's
they
been
must
around for a
be-
long time.
Yeah.
And he knows, I think, who's a good wide receiver and who isn't. And so maybe to your point, they're like, I want to roll with the guys that we got.
Yeah, it must be, or they just really, had no NIL money. I don't know. I mean, wide receivers they historically can be kind of divas, right? And a top level guy's not coming to Boise State for nothing. And maybe we were just tapped out.
One of the better catches I've seen was that Latrell Caples
Great catch
in the Mountain West Championship
dude.
game. I think it was that first touchdown.
Yeah.
It was like a dime throw, perfect catch. We were kind of sitting on that side right near the end zone. And I mean, I didn't think it was even a catchable ball at the time. And so every camera angle we could see was like incredibly good. So Caples is awesome. But anytime you have one great receiver, you just hone in on him as a defense, and then you got to make everybody else beat you, right?
And I don't think he's been healthy for a season. He's got injury concerns.
I think
Marshall, what are we going to get out of him?
Yeah, Marshall.
He was a 5-star kid. Like, if he could play to that potential.
Don't give me 5-star again.
But
don't.
I
Brandon,
don't know.
don't sleep on Linehan.
Yeah, we still
right?
got Gabe.
I think there's a potential with Bowl Divine if the NCAA sanctions are lifted.
Dude, you got to watch out for
New day.
that old Honda or whatever he was trying to get around.
Civic.
Oh, my gosh. Bull Divine.
Bull Divine. He didn't really ever pan out, unfortunately, but oh well.
Anything else we got, guys?
I'm good.
That's it, man.
Good.
I'm good.
That's kind of it. So we are not going to wait a month
Nope.
until next time, I don't believe.
If Mark's not here, hey.
Guess we just got to
If,
keep going
if
on.
anybody needs a boost in
Taking
their career,
applications. Yeah. Taking applications
Gabe
here.
Iguodala,
Gabe wants to come on, I think.
I think.
Gabe's a funny guy. He's a funny
him
follow on
on.
Twitter, dude.
Bring
He's
him on.
hilarious.
Come on,
But
Gabe.
we should bring him on when one of us is gone.
Oh,
And when I say one
like
of us,
Mark,
I mean me.
every single
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
weekend.
Well, let's get him.
All right.
Let's bring him on.
Works for me. I don't know what you're
whining about.
complaining about.
All right. Get us out of here, Brandon.
Give me a second here.
It's nice to see you guys again. I haven't seen you
Yeah.
since last time.
Oh boy. Yeah, we don't hang out outside of this.
We
Except
don't. You guys
fence
do.
Building.
Matt and I
You guys
do.
are building
we built the
chicken
fence.
coops.
Other than that, I was in Eastern Idaho living the dream.
What are you doing East Idaho?
Rigby. Abby had a basketball tournament.
All right.
So
Happy to.
yeah, she's gonna be senior. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, listening. Like, subscribe, contribute to the get us on the Media Pro Day train,
Please.
please.
I want to be there.
If you want to see us there, tag, help out the cause, please. That's gonna do it for us today. We'll see you next time. Peace.